crazy with our fall workout decorations. So I hope you guys enjoy. If you missed my last video, the Songhay house is a big Halloween house, so we wanted to bring some of our Halloween spirit into our videos for the next couple days. So we've also got a little room here, sitting very attentively, but Charlie's saying from behind the camera she looks sad. She doesn't have the workouts today. She's not feeling it. Rita, why would you be sad about working out? It's leg day. Everybody loves leg day. Come on, get fired up. All right, guys, so we are, see, she's showing off her gams. She's got some legs. She knows how to use them. And her face. She's got it all. She's the total package. So guys, we are working legs today. So our last video was intense upper body. Today's going to be intense lower body, but we're going to take a twist on it. So we are going to experiment with using some bands. I wanted to really take some time to kind of focus on the different kind of bands that we have and how we can use them, especially when we don't have a lot of weights to choose from. And also too, just resistance bands are a whole different type of work versus a weight. With a weight, you only get resistance in one direction, whereas with a resistance band, you get resistance in both directions. So I wrote a slightly shorter workout. It's 9 exercises versus the 10 to 12 that we normally do. But I wanted to be able to spend some time and really look at bands and the different types, how we can use them, and give you a minute or two to play with it, see how it works. We get frustrated with bands, especially in this kind of setting where we have try to have a limited amount of time, and I'm not here to help you, one-on-one. But I think it's really important. So I wanted to just take some time, spend it together, and give you and me a little time to experiment with bands. So basically what I wanted you to bring to the game today was every band that you have so we could experiment with it. I will show you here in just a second once we finish kind of the explanations, sort of the bands I'll be playing with today. I keep looking over like I don't know what I expect them to do, like dance for me, but I keep looking. So I'll kind of show you the bands that I'm going to be experimenting with. I'll show you with each exercise how you can use the band and how you can use different bands to kind of get the same results. Sometimes they do take a little playing because, resistance bands aren't finite, right? Like if you pick up an 8-pound weight, an 8-pound weight weighs probably 8 pounds. There is a little variance, but 8 pounds. Whereas if you pick up a red band, a blue band, a purple band, what the hell does that mean, And how much you've used it also could change the game. Suddenly it doesn't work as well as it used to because now it's really stretched out. So that's another thing that can be frustrating about bands. So another thing I wanted us to take a look at and have time to experiment with today. So all the resistance bands, if you don't have bands, I hope you still came to the workout. As I mentioned in the post, you can do all of these exercises with weights or with nothing at all. So I hope that if you didn't have bands, you still came to the game with some weights to work out. Or if you only have, well, I don't have a whole selection of bands, I have one band, awesome. I hope you brought that and you can play with it and then go to the weights if it doesn't work for you. And then lastly, you just need your yoga mat, floor support, whatever. Our last set of 3 exercises will be in the floor. So, bands. Let's talk bands real quick and then we'll get moving. So, there's a couple different types. I've shown you 2 that I have. Recently, a lovely friend of mine gifted me a great selection of bands that I have never had and I've really not got to experiment with because most of my working out that's done at home is done in front of the camera with you guys. So I didn't want to waste your time playing with bands, so I sort of did some research on my own, did a little work, and then I decided to write this workout to help you guys do the same. So the bands we're talking about, we have these sort of bands. What most of us are most familiar with, especially, and actually there's even one more variation, is this guy here. If you've ever been in physical therapy, this very attractive, well-made band. So these are all sort of the same family, right? They're loops, they're rubbery, varying levels of resistance. If you've ever been in physical therapy, they just have a big roll of this material and they're like, oh, you need a physical therapy band for your leg. And cut a big string, tied off, there you go. So these are all sort of similar. I'm going to put this funny one away here. So usually they're color-coded in some way. Your greens, your blues are your easier ones, your yellows, your medium, red, hard, black, hardest, generally what you're working with. These are a little more reliable in the fact that they are usually kind of as advertised. The black is definitely harder than the red, but again, the more you use them, the more they break down. So you can't always take it at face value, especially if you buy them used, but that's kind of what you're looking with these bands. So there's also one more variation, which is incredible. We won't be using it today because I know no one has it, but same sort of style, circular resistance band, but it's got these sweet little ankle straps that you can put around your ankles, or if you get big enough ones or you have small enough legs, I do not, that you can put them around your thighs. But this kind of protects that ankle dig or skin dig that you can get with these bands, and just keeps it a little safer for you, which I think is incredible. Again, gifted to me, which is why I have it. It's amazing. But I know most of you don't have that, so I won't be talking about those today. We've also got what I've been talking about lately, the fabric resistance bands. Booty bands is what they get called often. These are same principle as the rubber bands, but they are super resistant. I mean, whoa, resistant, but they're great in general, and they're great once you've got to the point that those rubber bands just aren't doing it for you. And you know, most of us do get there, especially women. We get really strong on our legs very easily. So this is a great option. Just beware if you buy one and you're like, I'm a total boss, I'm killing the rubber band, I should probably get a really strong version of this. Cool your jets. This is a medium and it is at the max that I can do. So these are the bands we've already sort of talked about, we've used, we've played around with. So now you've got this other variation, which I did use in the one resistance band class that I taught. And this is a band that has handles attached. We will use this a little today because I know some of you do have these. So these can be used, you know, placed under your feet. These can be used hooked over a door or around a heavy object as an anchor. These are really great to use with anchors. I just don't have that available in this room. I have my chair, but it's really not quite heavy enough. If I start pulling, I'm going to start pulling that chair with me. So I don't use these a lot in class per se, but I will show you how you can use them today. So a lot of times these have detachable handles, so you'll just get the cable and you'll get like a set of cables and one set of handles so you can change it out. Or some of them come, let's see, more like this where the handles aren't affixed permanently. Exact same band, just do you want to buy a set and change handles out, or do you just want to have handles permanently attached all the time? So that is some of what we're working with. I don't know why I'm putting these away neatly because I'm going to start tearing them apart here in a minute. And then lastly, and this is the newest band collection that I have, and these are the ones that you're probably the least likely to have, but they are really great. Probably what I will be using in class today because I really wanted to experiment with these. But no sweat, I doubt many of you have them. So while it will probably be my band of choice today, I'm going to give you all the other options for the things you're more likely to have. So these are amazing. They are super, super resistant, and they're great for stability, for support, for big movements. And they come in varying sizes. So we've got down to this little spaghetti noodle, all the way up to this behemoth. I don't know what to do with him yet, but I can't wait to figure it out. So we use these a lot for support, you know, for things like push-ups. If you have a weight rack, you can hook this, like loop it over the top and use it to do push-ups, support it, so you can practice your full push-ups, support it. I use this a lot with my personal training clients. So I'm going to experiment a lot with this today, but again, I understand that you probably don't have this, so I'll give you other options too. All right, so that's kind of my class on bands, super quick. Hope you don't mind the extra learning today, but I hope I set you up to understand that, that we will be doing a little bit of learning along with working out today. So, about the workout, Again, we're going to be working in supersets like we did with upper body, but we're going to do 3 exercise sets instead of 2 because we're working really big muscle groups that we can hit from all directions. Sort of the same though as far as we're going to do 1 kind of double leg movement and then 1 single leg, single leg. So we'll have a 2-leg movement, a single, and that's what each set's going to be made of. We're going to use, our sets are going to be sort of focused quads for 1 set, hamstring booty for the other, and, hamstring for the other, booty for the other. Now they all work together, so I'm not saying you're only going to feel hamstrings, only going to feel booty in these sets, but they are more directed to those body parts. So what we're going to do first is sort of our hamstrings, which can be super tight and super intense, so just a little heads up. So we're going to use the bands to do some deadlifts, and then our single-sided are going to be some band kickbacks. And band kickbacks are the ones where they might get a little intense, just a heads up. So if you do have a couple different resistance bands, then go ahead and grab those. So here's what we're going to do. For the band deadlift, this is a good option, or see, I'm already throwing everything in the floor after I put it away so neatly, or one of these guys is your good option. The circular resistance band isn't going to do much for you, the little one, as far as deadlift goes. So if that's all you have is just a circular resistance band, then just go ahead and plan to use weights for the deadlift, okay? So if you're going to just be using weights for your deadlift, then honestly, if you want to go ahead and get started, you're more than welcome to. We're going to do 12 deadlifts, heavy. So since I'm going to use this one for myself, I'm just going to set it aside and show you what you're more likely to have first. And then if you have the big band, then you can just join me with the big band. So for the deadlift, how we're going to set it up is we're going to put it under our feet like so. And what you will probably need to do, unless you are beginning, and if you're beginning, rock on, good for you, is you're probably going to need to choke up on the band. So what it looks like, I'm going to show you this way. It's not going to look like much effort, but I'm going to show you this way is we're going to do our deadlift just as normal. So we're going to put that little bit of bend in our knee, flat back. We're going to set our hips back. And then where the resistance comes is standing back up. So that being said, you want to choke up, go ahead and sort of start at your finish point, stand, and that's where you get your resistance, is more through the stand and the push of your hips. So you'll set it back, stand up, set back, stand up. Now, you might need to get a pretty good choke on that puppy. So just be mindful if you're really having to choke up on the band that you have, these bands can snap. Now it takes a lot, but if you have a super used band, it's possible. So if you are down here doing your deadlift and you have to choke up damn near your feet to do it, then I'd rather you grab weights and just leave the band alone. You judge, you can feel it, it's not gonna surprise you. You will feel when you have stretched it way too far and you're probably pushing the limit, okay? All right, so I'm gonna put this away. I'm gonna use this band. So there's a couple variations I'm gonna play with while we do these, but if you do happen to have this band, you can set up your deadlift just as normal, and the most extreme kind of version is to come down and get inside it and get it kind of over your shoulders and stand. That wasn't the band snapping, that was just the band rolling. So this is sort of our most extreme version is here. And then if you do not feel comfortable with that, you can set it up here and do the same thing as we did with the handles. You can choke up on it, start at sort of your finish point, and stand. So that's what I'm going to do. And let's go ahead and get started, guys. We're going for 12. Really. So now coming down is easy. Really focus on that squeeze, the booty at the top. 3. I'm going to choke up on mine a little bit more. 4. 5. So just make sure. 6. that holding onto this band isn't causing you any undue stress, that you're not tensing up through your shoulders. Obviously, you've got a good grip on it. 8. But just make sure you're not using your whole upper body. 9. 10. 11. 12. Perfect. So we're going to come out of this. I'm going to coach you on the next part, and then we'll move a little more quickly. So the next one is going to be those band kickbacks. Again, I'm going to show you with what you're more likely to have, which is this guy. So we're going to come down to the floor, and we're going to put the bands, can be underneath our hands if you have handles. If that's really uncomfortable, you can choose to hold the band itself. So we're going to hold it here, and then we're going to take the band and put it underneath our foot, like so. So what I recommend is that you give it a little extra wrap. Except you should probably wrap it evenly, unlike I just did. I practiced it with my purple band. I did not practice it with this band. Here, and then a little extra wrap around. This is just going to keep it more secure on your foot and less likely to pop off on you. So we're going to have it here behind us, and we're going to kick straight back and pull it in. So very similar to like a mule kick, same kind of family. Perfect. So if you don't have the band like this, I would recommend putting the circular band around your thighs and doing some mule kicks that way. Or you can try with a circular band. There is an option to put a circular band. I'll show you again since we're learning today. I'll take the extra minute. And I have never really used this, so please don't hold it against me if this does not go well. I've seen people do it, but I have not done it. So you hook it around one foot, and we'll scoot up where you can see, and then you push back against it. And actually that seems to work just fine. So you could definitely do that. If you can't see, I've got my foot. It's hooked around one foot and I'm pushing against it. So basically, I just set it up around my feet, like so, and then get down on hands and knees and push back against it. So that actually works perfectly fine. And in fact, depending on the resistance of your band this way, if you have both, I think I like the circle version better. All right, so I'm going to use this guy. Same kind of setup. If you happen to have it, I'm going to put it here. Since this band's a little more sturdy, hopefully I don't eat my words, I'm not going to worry too much about double wrapping it around my foot. All right, guys, whichever foot you want to start on, we're going for 12. 12. 11. 10. 9. That's intense in that hamstring. 8. 7. 6. 5. So we're just looking to extend that leg straight back. 7. 8. 9. Woo! 10. And I'm gonna cramp in the other leg. Funny. 11. Last one. 12. Perfect. And then we'll do the same thing, just switch feet. And we'll do it on the other side. Give you a second to get yourself set up. I know there's a little more setup with bands usually. Just have to get used to how it all works together. All right, set it up. Let's push. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo, that's intense on that hamstring, huh? Oh, at least it was for me. All right, so we've kind of seen how the bands all work. So we're gonna go through that set 2 more times. So feel free, now that you know what we're doing, experiment. If you've got a bunch of different bands to try, give them all a shot, see what works the best for you. I'm going to briefly see if this gives me a little more resistance in my deadlift. It may be way too much, but we're just taking that playful spirit today, right? And giving it a try. So, let's go. We're going for 12. 12. 11. 10. 9. 8. And remember, try to keep those shoulders relaxed. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Beautiful. So yeah, just try to keep those shoulders relaxed. I know we're gripping, and when we grip, we tend to grip all through up here. So I'm not saying I'm perfect, and then I'm not doing it a little too, but just something to keep in mind as we're working with these bands. I think with the handles, we're a little less inclined to do that, but when we're having to hold on to like a big band, we feel more inclined. All right, guys, so let's come down here. Remember, if you're using the band with the handles, I highly advise do a double wrap around your foot to really secure it on your foot. That's the one thing with bands. There is a little bit of risk involved. Is it enough risk to not use them? Absolutely not. But you just have to be aware. I mean, there's risk with weights too. You drop weights on your foot, your face, you know. So there's risk with everything. So you just have to be mindful. Don't just slap something around your foot and then start moving and grooving. You might get a surprise you weren't looking for. All right, guys, let's do this. 12, 11, 10, or keep that gaze out in front of you. Think about plank position. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Other side. And again, if you're using the circular band, I definitely recommend giving it a shot. It worked better than I thought. I had this like distinct memory of me trying it once and it going absolutely sideways on me, but that seemed to work really well that go around. So, all right, guys, let's get set up other side. Shoulders back and down. Really brace yourself through those hands. Make sure that band's in a nice secure place. And we pull. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Ooh, that was a good knee pop. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. All right, we got one more trip through. Perfect. I'm really liking those kickbacks. Super hamstring intense. All right, let's see. Deadlift time. All right. Now this one, a little stronger than the first one I did. I'm going to briefly experiment, but I think it's going to be way too much. Or maybe not. All right, I'm going to try it. Let's go for 12. 12. Just don't freak out if you hear a loud pop. That's just the band rolling down. 11. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. Last one. Woo! Beautiful. We gracefully try to come out. That actually went way better than I expected. All right. One tip too on bands, and I was going to put it in the Facebook post, but I just know once they get so long, people won't read them, is that when you work with bands, it's really good to try to cover as much as you can. Like you can see I'm red here. I wore long pants on purpose. So usually nothing that's going to hurt you, scar you, permanently injure you, anything like that. But if you are not comfortable with things rubbing your skin, then definitely something to consider. As we go on our break, if you're like, ooh, this sucks, you might want to go change your clothes, perhaps. This is really the most, though, that we're going to do as far as having the bands, like, on us. All right. Next set, last set. Really make sure you get yourself set up strong and tall through those hands, big starfish fingers. So everything we practice on our tabletop, that's where we want to be today. Nice long spine, everything set. Let's kick. 12. 11. You squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. Woo-wee. 3. 2. The last one. Boom. Perfect. Other foot. Let's see if I can do a clean handoff. Woohoo! All right. Get yourself set. I'll pause for just a sec if you need to wrap that foot. Make any transition moves. All right. Get yourself set up. Get that tabletop, that nice tabletop position. Nice long spine. And let's kick. 12. 11. 10. 9. 8. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Boom. Awesome job, guys. Come on up out of it. Woo, take yourself a little break. That was some intense hamstring digging there. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope if you had some bands to play with, you really gave it a shot. Otherwise, I hope you used your weights or your normal bands to get a great workout still. So again, just wanted to talk options, show you all the different things that you can do, and not just buy equipment and then let it sit around. Because really, it's great work. If you think about like the exercise we just did, the band kickbacks, how else are you going to recreate that with a weight? Not very easily, right? Resistance bands, we can use to replace weights, but weights are hard to replace with resistance bands because the work is just so different. All right, guys, so we're going to work more quads. Again, booty's definitely going to be involved. Hamstrings are going to be involved. We're going to go a little more quad focused with this exercise set. Let's catch your breath. Don't grab anything different. Just have your bands available. And actually, 2 of the exercises are single sides. You may not want a band at all. Just a little preview for that. All right, guys, so I'm going to keep taking a little break. Check the video. We'll get going. All right, and also guys too, because we are learning today, if you have any questions, I know I always say it, but today we're really focused on learning. So if you have any questions, please leave me a comment, or if you're watching this after the fact, just leave me a message. Again, it's something that's hard to really teach if I'm not standing there with you, but I don't have that luxury. So I hope that it's kind of making sense, getting through. Hopefully my decorations aren't too distracting, but next, we are going with a banded squat, and then we're going to do a squat hold, single leg, with a front, a side, and a back tap. That's going to be the one where you may not want to band at all. I'll show you what it looks like with the band. I may go through one round with it and then decide. I'm not really dedicated to using a band. The exercise is plenty of work without it. So let's see. I'm going to take one more quick check on the video, just make sure nobody left a comment after I asked, and then we'll get started. Okay, we're looking good. I just felt bad. I was like, leave me comments, and then didn't check. So thanks for indulging me for one last check. All right, so the squat is going to look very similar to how we did the banded deadlift, except I think it's going to be easier to hold the band a little bit different. So when I say the setup's the same, I mean that we're going to hook the band underneath our feet. And actually, because I know this is the less likely band, let me set that aside and go with this. And then I'm going to set my secondary option up too. It's very Halloween, very Joker over here, purple and green. Actually matches my little jack-o'-lantern guy over here's hat that I painted. So if you're going to use the handle band, which I know is most likely, then I'll show you that way. Again, this is one where if you have a circular band, squat's not going to do much good for you, but you could still use it. So if you have just a circular band, I'm just going to hang this around my neck for a minute. What I want you to do, if that's all you have is a circle, is to take the circular band and I want you to put it around your thighs. I'm just not going to do it because I don't want to have to make so many adjustments. I want you to put it around your thighs, and then you can use a weight. But what that's going to do is when you squat, you're going to put resistance into that band. So that's going to add a whole different level to your squat, having that resistance band around your thighs. Just seeing me do it and talk about it, you're probably like, do it, do it, do it. So you can still hold a weight if you want the challenge of the weight, but I want you to put that band around your thighs when you squat, if all you have is the circular band. So if you have the handle band, you've got a couple options depending on where you're at with your fitness and where your bands are at with their how accommodating they are. So if you have a really crazy hard band, or if you're sort of a beginner level, then you might be able to just hold your band here squat, and get some resistance at the top. Now, again, I know that's pretty unlikely, so your next step is you could put it here. Squat and stand. That's your most likely option. Again, you can choke up if you need to. I don't have a lot of room to play with this band, but you can choke up and pull it up if you have a lot of play in your band. I don't have that. So you could be here. This is your most likely option. Or, again, I don't have that much stretch in my band, but some bands are actually able to stretch overhead, and you can squat and push overhead to add some arms to it. I just don't have that much play in this particular band. I don't think I do in this one either, but I'll check it just in case I can show you, but I don't think I have it. Actually, I don't know, this band's a little springy. Let's see. So here, yeah, here and push up. So that's another option you can add if you have the handle band. If you do not have the handle band and you want to play around with these guys like me, I'll start with this harder one, but I'm not sure it's where I want to be. You can set up your squat however wide you want your feet to be for your squat. And depending on the band you have, you can hold it here and choke up a little bit and match your squat resistance, or you can hold it here, stand against it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold it here. Important, if you're going to do that, I want you to sort of squat and get it. I want you to hook it in your hands and then hold it close to your chest. And what that's going to do is that's going to take out a lot of the work in your upper body. If you're trying to hold it out away from you, your shoulders, your neck, your traps are going to be struggling like crazy. You're going to hurt tomorrow, and you're going to be like, I hate you, Tracy. Why did you have me do this? So, hear me out. Load it up. Hold it close. Okay? All right, so let's go for 12 of those. Again, if you have none of the bands, just grab yourself a weight. All right. Let's do it. 12. 11. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Perfect. All right. Whew. I get a little sweaty. All right. So, next up, I'll show you with the band, but I'm telling you, you probably don't need the band. Or, if you want to use a band, use one that doesn't have much resistance. In the circle band realm, all I have is a lot of resistance. So, that's why I'm saying I'm probably not going to use it. I could use the one where I hook it around my ankles, but that won't flow really well as far as the video goes. So I'm going to let that go. So what we're going to do, we're going to shift our weight to our left. Now, this is shift your weight. This is sticking your hip out. So we're not sticking our hip out, we're shifting our weight, and we're going to set back into what a deep squat is for us, whatever that looks like. Then we're going to take this right foot, so now we should be able to pick this right foot up, all our weight's over here, and we're going to tap to the front, back to the middle, to the side, back to the middle, to the back. Okay, so that's what it looks like. I'm going to give it a shot with the band, see how it goes. You do the same. So circular band, that's what you'll want to use. If you have the band with the handles and that's it, then you could probably rig something up where you could like make a loop out of it and tie it. But again, I don't think this exercise really needs a band. So if you want to go to all that trouble, give it a shot, but I don't think it's really that necessary. All right, so we sit back and we're not shooting out into our knee. We're sitting our hip back and we're going to go front, middle, side, middle, back, front, side, back, front, side, back, 4, 5, 6. Also, if you have a band on and it is jerking your leg, like if you get out here and can't hold it, it's jerking you back, too much challenge, lighter band or no band. 8, 9, 10. Where's your squat? Make sure you're not starting to creep up taller and taller. Last trip, 12. Woo, standing on up. So you might be feeling some booty, quad, probably feeling some work in this pulling leg too, especially if you have that band on. Whew, good stuff. All right, so again, we shift our weight. Not here, shift our weight. Should be light in this foot now. Step back into our deep chair. Let's do it. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just keeping an eye, you know, I'm looking down a lot, I'm sure. 6, making sure that my knee doesn't start rocking out forward. I'm still sitting back. Especially with this band resistance, you're kind of pulling yourself. 8. So be careful on your forward tap. Don't try to stretch it out far, just to tap forward. I believe that was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Ooh, goodness gracious, y'all. That's some burn. So I almost fell over. That is some serious burn. All right, I'm gonna kick that off. We've got our banded squat coming up next. Woo! Sides of my booty are like weak. Every time I lean to one side, it's like, just keep going. All right, so we've got that squat. So remember, you've got a couple options. If you didn't do it the first time, if you have the circle band, put that circle band around your thighs. You're gonna like it. It's a good challenge. All right, so also just make sure that your squat distance is still appropriate. Don't feel limited by the band. The band can move to wherever you need it to. So don't feel like you need to stand in a stance that's not comfortable. Just move. Band will go wherever you want it to. All right, so I'm gonna start at the bottom here. Let's go. 12, 11, 10, 9. Keep that core nice and engaged. 8, 7. Keep that chest tall. Don't let that band bring you forward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So I'm going to do the next set without the band, just to show you what that looks like. And again, prove to myself, I'm sure, that the band's really not that necessary. It's a really challenging exercise. I feel like the band, again, it's going to encourage us when our leg gets tired to start coming forward, especially when we're pulling with a band. So I'm going to show you what it looks like without, just so you can see. Still plenty of good work. All right, so shift our weight, another hip, shift our weight. We should be loose here. We step back, front, side. Scoot just a little bit. I'm gonna scoot up too. Back, front, side, back, front, side, back. I think that's 3, 4, 5. Good. 6. Plenty of burn. 6. Get out of my band. 7. 8. 9. Make sure your weight over here is back towards that heel. 10. Don't rock up towards those toes. 11. Last one. 12. Beautiful. Come on up. And in fact, guys, I will say, after doing it with and without the band, I feel like without the band, I was able to focus more of the attention into my quad, which is what I really want to work with this exercise. Obviously your booty's going to work too, but I feel like by taking the band out of the equation and not fighting the band, that this outer hip wasn't working so hard, and it was more quad and cheek. So, experiment with it, see what you think. We're learning today, right? All right, weight over to one side, stand tall, set it back, weight towards the back of that foot. 1, 2, 3. Really think about sitting that weight back of the foot. 5, 6. Hello, quad. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Good work. You notice that kind of reset. I think we all, I want to say it's a me, but I think it's a everybody. We always want to let that hip set out. I've talked about it a lot with deadlifts. So definitely no harm. Don't back out just because your quad's sore. But if you're like, ooh, I really feel like I'm starting to just reset, come back. No sweat. All right. Got one more set of our squats. All right, so get yourself set up. Good. So, reminding again, if you're using the method I am, keep that band really close to you. You'll also notice it works your core a little bit too, extra bonus. So, just don't fight it. Your job here is not to muscle that band with your arms, it's just to hang on. You're gonna feel a little tension, yes, because you have to lock it down. But if you have it out here, it's this whole other ball game that you don't want to play. All right. So come down, chest comes up. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, almost there, 3, 2, 1. Awesome work, guys. All right, gonna kick that band off to the side. All right, I'm gonna go no circular band. I really like the way it felt, better without it. So I'm gonna kick that out of my way. I'm gonna get this other band out of my way, just because I got limited space to work with all my fun pumpkins. All right, got one more set of those taps. You can do this. All right, so get ourselves set up. Stay nice and tall. Shift our weight. Sit back. Perfect. Let's go. 12. 10, 10, 10, 9, 8. Wait, towards the back of that foot. Let's move just a little bit. I'm kicking my back, pumpkins. 7, 6, 5, 4. It's intense, I know. 3, 2. I made the mistake of looking down. Last one. 1. Beautiful. Stand it up. All right. We got one more trip through. I'm going to come down to the mat for our last set. The band in the last set is going to be a little more self-explanatory. We won't have to do quite so much coaching on that one. All right. We got one more leg to do. Shift that weight. Stand tall out of that hip. Set it back. Let's do it. 12. 11. 10. 9. 8. Make sure you're moving at this nice pace. Don't speed up just to get through it. 7. 6. 5. Almost there. 4. Sit that weight back into that heel. 3. 2. Almost there. One more. 1. Woo. Yes. Super intense. I was just using this with some of my clients this week, except we're making it a little more intense. We have a TRX, so we're holding on to for a little bit of support, but that lets us squat even lower when we're up on a step. So that gives you like a drop off each direction. So this was kind of the at-home version, but if you loved that, you want to take it up a notch, let me know. I'll hook you up with that one. All right, guys, let's take a break just for a little bit. Give those legs a little bit of respite. So we're going to move now into a little more booty focused. The first set was sort of more hamstring focused. Second set, more quad focused and hip. And then third set is going to be more glutes, booty focused. Now again, all of that stuff works together. So if you felt something while you were doing the others, absolutely normal. There's really, lower body, it's hard. There are a few, but they're hard to find exercises where I'm just working my quad and nothing else is working. Our lower body just doesn't work that way. Most of our body doesn't work that way, but lower body especially. So we're going to be on the floor. You're going to want your circular resistance band, be it the rubber version or the fabric version. That's the only type of band you'll need. If you don't have those and you want to try to use the handle band or one of those long ones, probably a way you could do it. Again, you could loop it around and tie it off as an option. So not impossible, just not as easy as the circular band. Now, if you don't have a circular band, you can do absolutely no band and get a great workout still, or you can put like a weight in your lap. I think we recently just did a weighted thruster. That's another option too. So those are kind of your choices. Circular resistance band, welcome to try to do something with a handled band, or grab yourself a weight. So I'm going to check on the video and we will get started. All right. I just noticed it's pretty funny, wasn't intentional, that on a booty and lower body day that we've got kind of a little pumpkin butt going in the front here. That's what I'm working on. I want a pumpkin. No, that's really inappropriate. All right, guys, so let's bring it on down to the floor. I've got my 2 band options here. Not sure how the fabric band is going to work for me, but I'm going to give it a shot, right? And I'm going to bring my other option with me. So I'm going to show you the 2. So on this one, we're going to do our single-sided first. So we'll do 2 single sides and then we'll do our double side. So the band really on our first exercise isn't too much more than just a guide for us. So we're not going to be really doing a lot of resistance into it, but you'll come to find that just wearing a band can give you some resistance. So we're going to do a single leg thruster. I'm worried this might be a little just too much. I'm torn. All right, so we're playing, right? So I'm going to try this other band just to see if it's any different. I can't decide. Oh, guys. Again, that's why we built us some extra time today, because you might have the same sort of feeling. So I'll show you what we're going to be doing, and then I'll give you a minute to kind of have that same emotion and work through it with me for yourself. So we're going to lay, I'm going to scoot, make sure you can see me. We're going to lay into our bridge, our normal bridge position, right? So this is where I was like, this might be too much because I can't really hold my normal bridge position because this is pulling me shut. So I'm going to show you example, and then you can play with it for a second if you have different bands, and then I'll play with it too, and we'll go from there. So we're going to do a single leg thruster. So we're in our bridge position. We got our nice long back, our long neck, feet in line, and then we're going to bring one leg up. We want to make sure we've got this foot nice and close to our booty, just as we do in a bridge. And then from here, we're going to push through that heel and push ourselves up. So, pretty intense, no band necessary. So, you can actually just go without a band. Perfectly fine, or you can put the band around your thighs. Either way. For me, I feel like that band is a little distracting. These are definitely a more challenging exercise for me because I really have to focus on the drive through the heel and nothing to happen in my knees, because as you guys know, I have very sensitive knees. So I'm going to go with no band option for these thrusters. They really don't provide a whole lot of additional effort. What they do, and I will show you what I mean, is a lot of times when we do single leg thrusters, I'm going to switch so this leg is to the front. We push up through our heel, right? That's what we're supposed to do, but we use this leg for leverage, which is not what we want to do. You're hurting your lower back, you're not really using your muscles to lift yourself, I would rather see you only get this high off the ground than to do this big leg kick. So what the band will do for you is it will make sure that you are not kicking your leg. So if you feel like you need that reminder, put the band on, it will keep your legs in place. If you don't need that reminder, I don't see a whole lot of benefit to wearing the band. If it's not a distraction to you, you can go ahead and put it on because we're going to use it for our third exercise. So just some choices here. Wear the band if you're worried about kicking. Wear the band if it's not distracting to you because it will be helpful to already have it on for your third exercise. If you are nowhere, don't care, join me, no bands at all. All right guys, so let's get ourselves set up. We've got our foot up, nice long spine. We're going to push. 11. So you see my foot is staying right in place. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Perfect. So I am not concerned about who can get their hips the highest. Obviously, it is your goal to be able to get up here with your hips on a single leg. That's your goal. If you can't, I don't care. Keep good form. Don't kick your leg. If you can only get here, I guarantee you it is still good work. All right, let's go. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Keep that core nice and engaged. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. So now you definitely want your band. So if you don't have your band on already, go ahead and slide that on. We're going to bring it up above our knees, around our thighs. And then we have done this exercise quite a bit lately. This is the froggy bridge. And it's just a great way to really dig in and shape that outer cheek. So for the froggy bridge, we set up in our traditional bridge. We've got our legs close together. We've got our feet close together, unlike a bridge where we're hip width apart. We push up to the top of our bridge and we open. So you should feel an intense squeeze through here and then bring it down. It's a fluid motion, so it's not an up, open, down. You want to make it fluid, up and down. All right, guys, engage that core, flatten it out. Let's go. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, bring it down. Good job, guys. Slide that band off. Again, unless it's not distracting for you, then feel free to leave it on. And set ourselves back up for that single leg thrust. So if you don't have a band, obviously you don't need one for this exercise. If you happen to be a rock star at this exercise, you can put a weight in your lap if you want. I will decline that option, but I do like to show you I'm not the fittest person in the room always by any means, so some of you might need the extra challenge. All right, so set up. We've Got that weight towards our heel, and we push up. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Beautiful. So I want you to also play with your foot placement. A lot of times when we do this exercise, we tuck our foot in super tight because we feel like we're going to have more leverage if we get that foot in really close. So play with it a little bit and experiment and see where you can really get that back kind of connection to work. If you're too close, one, you're not going to be able to get your hips very high because you're so close. That's going to be your main issue. You don't want to be out here, obviously. That's no good either, but just play with it. Don't tell yourself the closer I get my foot to my booty, the easier it's going to be. You might have noticed after about a couple, 3 or 4, I adjusted my foot placement and that really shifted the work to where I want it to be. All right, get all set. Let's go. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. All right, slide that band back on. And as I've preached before, but if you haven't seen me with one of these bands before, the thing I love the most is that they don't get all roly-curly on you like the rubber ones do. All right, guys, got that froggy bridge. Get yourself all set. Got our feet narrow, our legs narrow. It's a fluid open and close. Let's go. 12, 11, 10, all through here. 9, 8. It's almost like those cheeks are wrapping up and in. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. All right, guys, last set. Woo. All right, we've got the single legs. Let's go ahead and get yourself set up. Whew-wee. These are intense. These are no beginner. So I'll also say that if you've been trying to do the single leg and it is just not working for you, do the double leg. If you need a little extra challenge though, throw a weight in your lap, okay? All right, let's get set. Let's go. 12, 11, 10. Also guys, don't be afraid. 9, 8. To touch yourself? That sounds terrible. 7. But feel, so you know here that your hamstring and your glute's supposed to be working. So put a hand back there. Feel it. Feel for it. See if that's what's working, or if nothing's working, or if something else is working. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. So don't be weird about that. Don't think that's something crazy. I do with my clients all the time. I don't touch their butts, but I have. But I ask permission first. But It's a great way to tell, because sometimes, I'm gonna hold this up, let's keep going. 12. If our muscles aren't super developed yet, 11. And I tell you, oh, you should feel your glute squeeze, 10. You might not feel it if it's not that developed yet, 9. But if you put a hands on it, 8. You're gonna feel it. 7. So I'll do that for clients sometimes, and they've gotten really used to that method of, hey, this is where you should be feeling it, and then I'll put fingers, on their shoulder or on their lat, 4. So they know to squeeze in that area, 3, 2, 1. I just think it's a great way to learn where your muscles are, where they're located, and then to feel if they're working or not. I used to, I'm sure, drive my old trainer, hi Jeffrey, crazy, because I'd be like, well, tell me what I'm supposed to be working. Show me, tell me what I'm supposed to be working, because then that lets me know and gives me a direction as to where to squeeze, where to focus that energy, and it really helps you with that mind, start learning that mind-body connection. So I'm really big on that. So I said, don't be afraid. Touch your butt, guys. It's all right. It's yours. If you're a personal trainer, ask permission first. All right, guys, we've got our froggy bridge. Feet, legs close together. We open, down. 11, hi, Rue. Oh, my goodness. 10, Rue loves sweaty workout kisses. 9. 8, Rue, come here. Listen. Come here. I'm going to add some weight to my bridge. 7. 6. Good girl. 5. 4. Oh, please don't puke on me. 3. You must have been eating dinner. Last 2. And 1. Good girl, Rue. Good job. Good job. Oh, you're giving me snuggles. Thank you. Okay. All right, guys. We did it. We did a little science experiment. We learned about bands. We learned about touching yourself. Got a little weird at the end. Yeah, I did. So guys, I hope you enjoyed. I know it was a little more talking than normal, but I kind of set you up for that. I just wanted to get some education with our workout today. So we got a super intense workout. We really dug into that lower body, but we also learned about how to use bands and how that resistance can be different. We gave ourselves permission to play, to experiment with different things. So all around, just a really great workout, a really good learning experience. And really for me, this is a lot of what I love about working out and about training, is teaching and learning myself about all the different things we can do, what to expect, how it should feel, what works, what doesn't. So I hope you guys enjoyed it too. If you'd like to see anything similar with other types of equipment, I would be happy to do that. I would love to do that. So just shoot me a message and let me know, and I will be happy to oblige. Otherwise, the couple things that I didn't mention at the first that I always mention is please share these workouts, share my page, subscribe on YouTube, anything we can do to get this message out about the awesome things that we are doing here together. And lastly, if you would like to send any donations my way for this workout, it is the only payment I receive, and it is greatly appreciated. Venmo @StrongStyleFit is where you'll find me. Thanks guys, have a great rest of your week, and I will see you soon. Mwah!